Hello, everyone. I'm Jonah Swotes. Welcome back to another episode of The Good Love with Steph and Jonah, a podcast where a mom and a son talk about the wounds we all carry, but seldom speak aloud, and the beautiful mess of being human. In this week's episode, we talk about Aristotle's rhetorical triangle, which includes ethos, pathos, and logos. We discuss how these ideas shape people's communication styles and how they can cause disruptions when contrasting styles meet. We also dive into how we can improve our communication with others by staying open and being curious when there are clear differences in perspective. Let's get into it.
Sometimes you gotta fail, taste the ground, and rise again for the good love to come along.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to The Good Love
Yep.
with Steph and Jonah.
Yep, I'm Jonah,
And I'm Steph.
and we're back at it again. You guys clearly haven't gotten sick of us yet, so...
Well, we don't know who's gotten sick of us.
Well, our sponsors are still pushing us forward to create content. So
All of our sponsors.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Dreamer,
we're back again.
you must be dreaming.
Beautiful.
You know what I'm realizing? I just took a shower and I only Q-tipped one of my ears. So one's wet still.
I was gonna say, can you not hear me through the other
Oh,
one?
no, I can hear you. Or they just have a wet ear.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Childhood trauma right there.
Wet ears.
Wondering what this dress is going to sound like on camera.
Sound.
I'm supposed to only say sound because it's a podcast.
Oh,
but
of course, yes.
I'm usually more focused on
The
the
video.
video.
Yes, it's gonna sound very colorful and very plaid.
How are you, honey?
I'm great. Gearing up for the big move, and I got some fantastic sports news today, which I'm very, very excited about, which is that LeBron James is coming to the Philadelphia 76ers.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I think it's going to be great for the team. And in the spirit of our podcast, I think LeBron is a great addition to any team because he's such a good communicator and such a good team leader.
Is he? I don't know much about LeBron.
Oh, yeah. He's entering his 24th season,
That I know.
which
That's
is unbelievable.
been around for a long time, hasn't he?
And he has been known for his acumen and communication and basketball IQ for many, many years.
Nice.
So I'm hoping that he's going to be the natural leader that the 76ers need to succeed.
I didn't even know you cared about the 76ers.
I do, yeah. Basketball is definitely my least favorite of the four major sports, the one that I care the least about.
Let me tell you something, folks. This kid growing up, his dad is from Philly. So I used to ground him to try and get him to be a Boston fan. The only one
true.
that stuck was the Bruins.
Yeah.
I'd be like, go to your room until you come down a Patriots fan.
Still waiting
Never
on
worked.
that one.
Never worked.
I only missed 6 Super Bowls in the process. So,
Yep, that's all. What
Yep. What are you going to do?
are you going to do?
But yeah, I do care about the 76ers, and I've cared about them more the past few years.
Okay.
But they're still definitely my least favorite of the four sports teams.
Okay.
I just like the other ones better. How are you, Mom?
I'm doing all right. I'm looking forward to dinner. We're going out to dinner tonight with the folks, with the our extended family.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing okay. I feel a little stressed, to be quite honest. I have to keep just reminding myself that everything will get done. Jonah is jetting off to USD to do a 2-year master's program, as we've mentioned before. I am going out in the beginning with him, and then I will decide what I'm doing next. I'm a Mass resident, remaining a Mass resident. I have a new Mass address because we are moving out of this place. But some big decisions and changes coming up.
Yep.
And I'm, I'm feeling it right now.
Yeah.
Shit's getting real.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but I'm very proud of you, honey, for doing
Thank
this
you.
and making this move. And
Thank you.
so, yeah, I'm feeling a little low energy. I'm noticing in this moment, a little low energy. But let's see how today goes.
Well, I'm quite the opposite. I'm pretty excited. I'm feeling good right now. So I guess I'll carry this one, as it were.
Okay, carry it away, kid.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, very excited about the move, and I feel like everything's finally lining up. And I don't know, I feel like we have pretty much everything we need in place right now. And it's just about execution from this point forward.
Well, I'd like to actually say it's about execution and goodbyes for now.
Execution of the goodbyes.
Goodbyes for now. Mine being
Until the next times.
mine being temporary. But temporary meaning, a handful of months.
Yep.
And if I love California, who knows what.
Yeah.
But I'm not good at goodbyes.
I don't think anyone is.
I'm not looking forward to tonight's goodbye. What did you just say?
I don't think anyone's good at goodbyes.
No, before that, you said you were excited.
Oh.
So you're going to care.
Execution.
Execution. That word has a lot of meanings.
Yeah.
It does.
You mean like killing and
Exactly.
any others?
But execution also means to get it done.
Yeah.
To execute.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a our language is very confusing, I think.
Yeah. It's definitely sort of a smorgasbord of many different languages kind of mixed into one.
Yeah. Also, how about, we haven't really done this, a call out and plug to Adam and Erin in Visionary Creative. Adam has been leading us through this podcast for months and months. This is like our 4th or 5th episode, right? Or 6th? 6th episode that we're recording that we're putting on air or, for people to listen to on podcasts. But we've been literally doing this for months. We have I want to say 10 or 12 archived shows that Adam helped us to create, and Erin also does it in the background with them. So in Visionary Creative, they're amazing. And so thank you, Adam, for everything. I just wanted to plug out to them. I was thinking this morning how we haven't really plugged them at all, and I think we should.
I agree. We actually did plug them in the 2nd episode, but
it got cut off.
it didn't.
Oh, it didn't?
Nope.
Oh, well, there you go. Another plug. I'm going to keep doing it.
Keep plugging.
I'm a big believer in plugs.
Keep plugging along. What does that mean? You're a big believer in plugs.
I think you know what it means.
I'm gonna electrical sockets.
Jesus. God. I could have just gone really south with that.
Thank God you didn't.
Yeah.
Anywho, another thing I'm really excited about is I'm really excited to see the Odyssey.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. This is how we got our topic today.
Yeah.
Jonah, I'm going to give it to Jonah right now because he actually came up with today's topic because of...
I wasn't ready to get into the topic yet. I wanted to talk about the Odyssey.
Well, let's talk about the Odyssey, but that's kind of where you derived the topic from this week.
It is.
So go for it.
I was hoping that we would kind of enter in smoothly, but my mom just laid out the whole plan.
I'm not a smooth person. Smooth is not my forte. So it's like, let's get it done.
Yes, well, if there are two things I love in this world, it's the classics and Greek mythology and Christopher Nolan movies. So I'm pretty excited about this movie, and it's getting very, very good reviews.
Yes, it is.
And I loved the Iliad. I loved the Odyssey. Loved reading them. I also loved, there was a series of books called Percy Jackson.
Oh yeah, you loved those books.
I loved them as a kid.
Yes.
They were my favorite.
Yes,
I
you
still have
did.
them on my shelf.
Yes, you do.
For those of you who don't know what they're about a kid who finds out that he's a demigod, which is like half human, half god, and he has some powers. It's pretty cool. That was my dream as a kid. But I was very, very into mythology as a kid. I got a book from, I think both you and Dad gave it to me, called Myths and Legends when I was a young kid. It had
Yep.
like a big Pegasus on the cover of it. And it was myths and legends from all different cultures and religions. And I read all those stories growing up and I loved them. And the Greeks were always probably my favorite. The Odyssey was probably my favorite story out of all of them. The journey home from Troy is a very, very cool story. It's a great hero's journey, and it's about Odysseus, but it's also about his crew and him taking responsibility for getting them all home safely. And I think it's a really, really simultaneously tragic and heartwarming story that I'm very, very excited to see.
We could go tonight, after dinner.
We could.
Let's see.
I want to see it in IMAX. So I want to find.
Well, let's see. We'll see if
Yeah.
we can find that. I'm not attached to it, but we could.
So in the spirit of ancient Greek mythology and the Odyssey, I was thinking about topics the other day, and I thought about Aristotle, who was one of the best ancient Greek philosophers, along with Plato and several others. And Aristotle created a concept which has since come to be known as the rhetorical triangle. So it is a method of categorizing how people appeal to others through their writing and through their communication. It was primarily meant for writing. And the idea is that there are three methods of trying to get your point across. And those three categories are called pathos, ethos, and logos. So those three ideas represent sort of how an argument can be made, or how a story is told, or how basically any sort of point you want is being communicated.
So ethos, pathos meaning empathy, logos meaning intellect.
Yes. So logos is
Or logic.
Yep.
And what's the other one? Pathos, logos, and ethos.
Yep. I'll break them all down.
Okay.
So logos.
I'm actually asking for me
I
as
got
we
it.
go through it.
I gotcha.
Okay.
So logos is the appeal to logic. Logos is attempting to make an argument through logical terms, through trying to appeal to someone's understanding of something that is purely, based on logic, and it is focusing on the mechanics of a situation. It's focusing on the execution of a situation, simply through conveying, what it is in logical terms. Ethos is an appeal to credibility. And it's appeal to ethics. So a doctor saying, this is what you should do because I am a doctor, right? I have the credibility to say what I'm saying, right? A lawyer saying, you can trust me because I went to school for this and I understand the nuances of the law. So this is my argument. It is someone essentially being grounded in their own qualifications in a specific area and appealing to those qualifications to make their point. And then pathos is an appeal to emotions, to empathy. If you are speaking on if you're making an emotional point, you can't appeal to logic because it might not logically make sense. You're appealing to someone's human nature, to their emotions, to their compassion and understanding. And all three of these sort of form the basis of making an argument or communicating. And I think today I'd like to talk about sort of how they apply to communication and how they apply to people in relationship and communicating styles, because I think a lot of times people get tripped up because everyone has a different style when it comes to how they present their feelings and how they present their points and how we argue, how we disagree. And a lot of times it's not necessarily the content that we're getting tripped up over. It's the presentation of the content. It's understanding another person's communication style.
Jonah, why did the Odyssey, explain a little bit why? I know this wasn't extracted right from the Odyssey. Is it because of mythology? Is that why this sort of...
No, it's because it was making me think of ancient Greece and ancient Greek historical figures, and Aristotle was a very prominent Greek philosopher.
Okay.
And, I was thinking about communication, and I was thinking about writing because I think I was also having to do something for grad school last week. I can't remember what it was, but I was thinking about writing. And in writing, when I was in high school, I was taught about ethos, pathos, and logos and sort of how to appeal to people's different sides when writing something, when writing an essay. And it sort of got me thinking about these concepts and how they apply to people in terms of how we communicate and how we are in our relationships.
All right. So where are we going to go with it?
Well, I think the first thing to talk about is you and I think we can talk about what our sort of dominant tendencies are when it comes to this area. I know, for example, for me, I tend to appeal to logos more than any of the three. I'm a very logical person. And when I am engaging in conversations with people, exchanging ideas, coming up with plans, I am often one to appeal to the logic of a situation, which can be helpful and can be unhelpful. I know you've probably had experience with me in this area where we'll be having a conversation and I might not be understanding the emotional impact of something because I'm focusing more on the logistics. What would you say your dominance?
I think I have a pretty good balance of the three when I'm in an actual conversation. If we're talking about a knee-jerk conversation, or a conversation that isn't planned, or I would probably say mine is more pathos.
Yeah.
Laced with ethos, because I look for credit. I look for credential. I look for either in, I try and sort of bring that on board if I'm trying to get a point across, either my own or that of someone else. Yes. But I would have to say, it's not a big mystery. I typically... I'm a
You're a pathos gal.
I'm a pathos gal.
You absolutely are.
I actually think, to be fair, I want to say two things, if I may. The first thing is, I think that emotion, pathos, is important for the other two, because I think it's a map. I think our emotions can tell us what's going on inside, and we can use our logos. We can use the logos aspect to help us heal.
Yeah.
And the same goes, for the ethos. But I do think, I don't think you can bury those feelings. That's for sure. One other thing, I also think that, I think an interesting part of this conversation would be, because this could go very intellectual, but I think it's a mechanism as well. So when you say, Mom, sometimes you've had experiences with me where I tend to get lost in the logic of it. I think another healthy conversation with all this is, well, where do my defenses go up? Or when I'm in survival or something's been activated in me, right? I think that's kind of your go-to. You try and logic your way through it when you're afraid.
Yes.
I try and feel my way through it when I'm afraid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoken like a true pathos. I take it to the intellectual place and you take it to the feelings place. And I think that's what makes us such a good balance on the podcast.
Yeah.
And I think that it definitely can lead to some hiccups in our relationship sometimes. I think that
What relationship do you think doesn't have hiccups? There's no sarcasm in that. Like what? That's the basis, and that's the.
that doesn't mean that you don't work to resolve and
No,
improve.
we do. We do wonderfully with that. I'm just saying. You said it doesn't mean that there aren't some hiccups in our relationship, and I think relationships are in fact hiccups.
I'm pretty sure I said it means that there are some hiccups. I wasn't alluding to the fact that our relationship.
No, I know you're misunderstanding me. I'm saying you said that doesn't mean we don't have hiccups.
No, I said we. That's not what I said. I said we do have hiccups.
I understand. I was saying in response to that, what relationship doesn't?
I don't think. I don't think any. I think it's kind of a moot point. I don't. There's the logos coming up.
You just got to witness pathos and logos.
Yes.
Almost borderline on Clash of the Titans. You just got to witness
Another good Greek mythology right there.
What a beautiful thing life just did for us. Life just put us in a position
Oh yeah.
where we get to show them
Yes.
our logos and pathos. Okay, and let's call it out right now, right on the podcast, right?
Yes.
You said to me, I think it's a moot point.
Yes.
That shuts down pathos unless you're me.
In which case, pathos roars back, even stronger.
That does not shut me down.
Yes.
Unless you consider coming back swinging. And I really mean that, a form of shutting down. That can also be a form of shutting down, coming back swinging, which I'm not going to do right now, not at all. But you're witnessing logos and pathos right now. So let's see where we go with this.
Yes. So
What just happened? I saw you get defensive with me, and I don't think I made it up. What just happened? I wasn't critiquing you. I was trying to piggyback on something, but something happened that made you get defensive and shut me down.
Well, I think you misheard what I said and then interpreted it in a different way and then responded to your interpretation of what I had said.
Right, but in either case, I was literally just trying to piggyback and go with the flow for the podcast's sake.
Mm-hmm.
And let's go here. Something got activated.
Well, I was kind of going on I was getting ready to go somewhere.
So you got activated because
you took me off of my
I took you off of your
train.
Your train of thought.
Yes.
And that makes you want to shut me down.
In that moment,
serious
it did. Yeah.
So why would you want to shut me down? And I'm open to your questions as well, but why would you want to shut me down? Because I, with good intentions, and I mean that, it wasn't an intentional thing, pushed you off track. Why would that make you want to shut me down?
Because it felt like you were going to another place.
I understand that's what it felt like, and maybe I was.
Yeah.
But why would, as opposed to, Mom, can we just stay on this? I'm wondering what got defensive as opposed to conversational. Because that's what we're talking about.
Because I was trying to get back to my point as quickly as possible.
Right. My question is, though, because we're talking about pathos, ethos, and logos.
Because I logically thought that was the best way to do that.
I understand that, but you're still not hearing my point.
Okay.
And this is a new area for us on our podcast. You're still not hearing my point. I understand that's what you thought. What I'm not clear about yet is why you got reactive. I understand you might be right about all of that, but I'm truly curious as to why you felt the need to defend.
Because I wanted to make my point, and I felt like I wasn't going to get to.
So you felt like I was beginning to dominate
Yes.
the conversation. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, I felt like you were about to take
I was about to
from
take
where I
the
was going.
reins,
Yes.
and you felt like you were going to just lose your voice, so to speak, right? So that is a beautiful example of how people clash in conversation, right?
Yes.
And being that we're mother and son, right? They're getting to see our whole history, right? Me as the boss, me as the mom,
Yep.
me as the big personality, right? And you feeling sometimes like you have to fight for, right? And so Jonah feels like he has to fight sometimes for his voice. And on somebody who's pathos, right? And we haven't even gotten into ethos yet, but pathos. And I know I want to acknowledge, I understand we're off track right now. I am gonna direct this back to wherever you want to go with this, but this is just an important part right now. I was caught off guard. This is what happens, I think, in relationships, any kind, in conversation. I was caught off guard because I didn't know what I did wrong. So I felt ashamed. I felt myself start to recoil inside. And I felt ashamed. And I felt like, oh my God, he just shut me down and I don't know why. Right? And this kind of stuff is the stuff that we have to learn, not just you and I. I mean, we do go through this. We do put it on the table. This is what happens in marriages and in relationships. And as opposed to talk it out and break it down like we're doing, people get divorced or people get resentful or people form tribes and people get kicked out or right or whatever. So my apologies for the times that you feel shut down by me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm sorry I got reactive.
It's okay, honey. So where do you want to go with this now?
Well, that was kind of where I wanted to go with it. Is I think that
So we were on the same page.
in a different way than I was envisioning.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very good example of what happens when someone like me has a largely logically dominant sense of thinking. And my mom has a more dominant emotional sense of thinking. And so when we communicate, we're thinking from different perspectives and we're engaging from slightly different perspectives. Like for me, that exchange at the beginning was very logical. Oh, I'm going from thought A to thought B. This is how I'm going to get there. And for you, you were interjecting. And then when I reacted the way that I did because my logical understanding of how this was going to go had shifted, it immediately brought up feelings for you of shame, like you were saying.
Yes.
And if we had not communicated about that, we would have spent the rest of the podcast being annoyed with each other or upset with each other.
Snippy, and it would come out sideways.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we if that's how we operated, we wouldn't be doing a podcast. We probably wouldn't even be in the same house.
It's true. So I think the larger point on that is everyone has different dominant styles of thinking and perceiving. Some people walk around leading with emotion. Some people walk around leading with their logical brain. Some people walk around leading with the credibility of what they've done, the job that they do. If you're a doctor, you carry around having gone to medical school and having done all the work it takes to become a doctor. Or, if you are an extremely successful business person, you walk around and you carry yourself in that way, and it completely affects how you present yourself and how you're communicating with the world. And a lot of times we're communicating with people whose styles are dissimilar from our own. And that can create mishaps and hiccups in communication if we're not understanding what those differences are, because in the exchange that we just had, it wasn't the content of what we were saying that was the issue. It was the way in which we were communicating and thinking about the conversation that we were both having. It was the same conversation for both of us, but we were perceiving it from two completely different lenses. And we were thinking two completely different things about the conversation. And that was where we were missing each other.
Yes. And if I may, here comes pathos.
Here comes
If I
pathos.
may, if we're even going to go layers and layers deeper, you got afraid that you weren't going to any longer have a voice. You got afraid that you weren't going to be seen and heard.
Mm-hmm.
And I got afraid that I was going to be left and shut down and kicked out. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Fear is always, in my experience, what's at the bottom of it.
Yes.
And I would like to blow up one point a little bit. You said that's what causes hiccups. That's what causes wars, not just hiccups. That's what causes divorce and bombing people and punching people's lights out and murder. And I could go on and on and on and on. This isn't a little subject that we're talking about here. This is the nuts and bolts of life that we're talking about. So I want to bring that really. You have the look of shock on your face right now. Is my intensity too high? No. You're like dun 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 dun.
Tom Cruise?
That's the first song that's come to me today. My song's dead inside today. I'm dead. I'm in shock. I want to be really honest right now while we continue this conversation. I literally am looking around right now feeling shocked at what's happening in our lives right now. The move, cross country. I'm shocked. I'm in shock. And I'm feeling woozy and shocked. And I'm feeling like I'm in survival right now. And I'm also feeling like that is because I'm trying to control this experience inside of me. My song is muted today. I usually have, in my head, I've got like 50 songs that I would have thought of by now. It's muted today.
Yeah.
It's muted. So I'm just saying that for the sake of what I think that's another good example of pathos, though. I think when we're not allowing our feelings to be real, for me, everything is shut down. So where were we? Bring me back on track.
Well, we were talking about sort of the hiccups and
And I said that's how wars are created. Yeah, yeah. And can I say one other thing?
Go ahead.
Did I cut you off, or are we good?
No, not at all.
So, there's this saying that I notice happens a lot in my life where people are like, "Well, Steph, you have big feelings." No, I don't. I have feelings, and I feel them. Most people, or many people, don't want to feel their feelings. We walk around as human beings doing what we can to mute our feelings. No, I just have feelings, and I think that's scary for people. Now, could it be scary also that sometimes I voice them and sometimes my feelings show? Sure. Have I had to learn a container so that I'm not walking around spitting my feelings out all over the world all the time? Yeah, that's been a lesson I've had to learn. But I don't believe in this, this one has big feelings, this one has little feelings. No. For example, God forbid, knock wood, but let's say a very level-headed person just lost a child, a toddler. Let's say a very level-headed man or woman lost a child. You think they're going to have small feelings? They're going to be blown away because they didn't understand they had the capacity for that level of grief, right? Or when someone loses a parent, or when someone's been, you've witnessed a murder. I know I go to really intense places. I understand that I do that. But that's because those are the things that push us into those big, big, big feelings. And when we're not allowing ourselves to go there and balance these three things that we're talking about, because let's face it, in this world, logos and ethos, they win. Okay, this country especially, but the world. Okay, no, I have nothing to back that. I didn't take a poll. Okay, but people are much more invested in logic and credential than they are feelings. People with feelings often get made fun of or teased, or right when there's only feelings with no logic or credit behind it. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not fair or right. And so I just feel like and believe that if we're not bringing the big stuff to the table, we're ignoring the people in Venezuela who just survived an earthquake because we put on our shields. We don't want to see, we don't want to go to what that might feel like. We're ignoring the wars that are going on. We're ignoring the trafficking that goes on in this world, right? We're ignoring people who have it much, much, much worse than us. And we love to do that sometimes. We love to ignore it because when we have to look at that stuff, it brings up pathos in everybody. It's not because somebody has bigger feelings than someone else. Some people just feel better. They know how to feel, just like some people know how to use their logic better. I think that's what you're saying, to circle it around to the beginning of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Some people know how to do that better. Some people have credit, their credentials behind them, right? They're all very valid. But we also use those when we're off balance. We use those to gain our balance, and we use those to snap back our identities because we're addicted to identifying with who we think we are. So I say this in the spirit, as I always do with this podcast, of deep healing. That's why I bring up the big bombs. Because I'm pathos. Take it away, Logos.
Pathos bomb drop.
Take it away, Logos.
Yeah, I mean, I completely get where you're coming from, and I think yes, everyone has feelings, and some people are better for making space for their feelings than others and knowing where to put their feelings so that they can work through them and deal with them rather than not deal with them and keep them inside. And I think that in order for a good, healthy, balanced life, you need to be able to deal with your pathos, because everyone has pathos inside of them. And they're all sort of a Venn diagram. They're all intersecting. They're all affecting each other. And if your pathos is not handled appropriately, it will bleed into all the other areas of your life.
Likewise with logos,
yes,
and ethos.
Yes, if you are a more pathos-based person and you are not paying attention to the logistics in your life, that will begin to affect your life.
Yeah, but even if you're too logos-based.
No, I know I'm throwing it back the other way because you've been talking from a very pathos-based. I'm saying I'm already talking about dealing with the pathos. I'm saying also if you are appropriately dealing with your pathos but not appropriately dealing with your logos,
I see.
That will also affect your life. If you are an extremely talented person who has dealt with the logos in their life and is great at dealing with their pathos, but you have not gone and gotten any sort of credit or credentialing for yourself, it's going to be very hard to communicate your ideas to the world and to gain recognition and to engage in the world from a place of credibility if you're not making sure that your talent is being properly utilized. And that's what, that's what our careers are for. That's what families are for. If you know that you want to do something and do it well, that is an important part of life as well. So these three aspects are constantly intersecting with each other. And if you are neglecting one of those areas, it will inevitably bleed into the other areas of your life.
Excuse me.
So I think that it's very important to balance them, and to make sure that you are tending to all parts of yourself. Because I certainly know when I neglect my pathos, it bleeds into everything that I do. And I finally took a huge step by going to school to start putting some ethos into my life. My logos has never struggled to be cared for. I have always put logos at the forefront of all of my academic work. I mean, I guess I did, when I decided to go do diving and stuff like that.
Yes.
I put my logos on hold a
For
little bit.
sure.
But, and that was very good tending to my pathos.
Well, it was also tending to your ethos
It was.
because you got your instructor.
Mm-hmm.
You became a dive instructor. You became a master diver. You didn't just go and, aimlessly do that stuff. You actually went and got certified in many things.
Yes.
So, and also, if I may, that was just spoken like a beautiful, true logos. Because, and all very, very well said and good points. I do always feel the need, though, to speak to the people who might be less fortunate. So maybe you're living on the streets right now and you've found us. Or maybe you're somebody who's struggling with hope right now because of your finances or the position your life is in. So, so you're like, yeah, how am I going to go get credentialed? Or how am I going to ever go to school? Or how am I going to, I'm just like depressed all the time. How will I find logic, right? You can. It's never too late. There's lots of help out there. Lots of help. We're here every week to encourage you. And, I know for me, I hate that saying, but I know for me that when I'm sharing myself or we're on this podcast sharing, this is not like for display. I'm, and I know people often just listen for entertainment, which is great, right? But I want you, the listener, to take a look at your lives and see where you belong in our conversation. So where are you at odds with the people in your life, with your husbands or your wives or your children or your coworkers or family members or whoever? Where are you at odds? Where are you out of balance? Where is there cleanup that needs to happen because you're not paying attention to who you are? You're not paying attention to what is at the forefront of your being, logos, pathos, or ethos, right? And are you in relationships where you can correct this kind of thing, where there's room to be out of balance or there's room to not be right or perfect all the time, right? It's really about bringing all three and being able to put them on a table and not shame anyone. No one has to get shamed in the process of discovering themselves. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to say.
Yeah. And I think to close.
Are we closing? What time is it? Has it been an hour?
No, I was going to say, I was going to talk about something else.
Oh.
I think the last place to take this is sort of how to deal with people who are not predisposed in your area. So how to have conversations with people when I'm a logos and you're a pathos and we're clearly missing each other. How do we have those conversations? How do we create communication styles that allow people to both get their point across and also make room for the other person's point of view when their points of views may be so vastly different? And I think that much like my mom and I just did at the beginning of the episode when we had our disagreement, rather than descend further into our own positions, we decided to get curious about the other person's position.
For sure.
And you don't owe anyone curiosity, but I think that you will find it a lot easier if you are curious, because the understanding lies not in what you know, it lies in what you don't know and what you are open to learning. You know, I think in that moment when I reacted, I had to take a step back from, oh, my mom just derailed my point, because if I had gone further into that and doubled down on where my frame of mind was, I would not have been able to have room for, oh, my mom actually communicated to me that she was feeling shamed because of the way that I reacted. And it was in that humanization in that moment where I was able to find the understanding for what had gone awry in our conversation, not in my own perception of how I had been wronged, but in my curiosity for why my mom had reacted the way she did to my reaction. And I think that for you, rather than sink deeper into the feeling of, oh, I just got shut down by my son, you were curious and open and thought, why did he do that? Where did that come from? How can I speak to him and ascertain what was going on for him so that I don't continue to feel bad like I did something wrong? And it was in that space where we met in the middle and found an understanding, even though we had come and started in two completely different perspectives and positions.
Absolutely, because there's absolutely, beautifully said. Two things. First of all, because watch this. You ready? God, I don't know what just happened, but I feel really ashamed because I'm feeling shut down by you, whether you did that or not, and I feel super ashamed. What person in their right mind is going to be like, go fuck yourself, when you're being that vulnerable? And there are people who will, but most people with a heart, if you're letting someone know that you're actually confused and don't know what just happened, but you know you're feeling ashamed, they're gonna be with you in that. I do believe that about human beings, most people, unless someone's so far gone and not in touch that they can't. That or this, what the fuck? What the fuck? You just shut me down. What the fuck? And you're gonna be like, what the fuck? We're going to go back, except yours is going to look different. But you are going to be saying in your own logical way, what the fuck, right? Because I'm not presenting myself as vulnerable. You asked, how do people resolve stuff like this? That was the question. And then you said, we get curious about each other. But I'm going to bring it back to where I always do. If I'm not curious about me, I'm not going to be curious about you. If I'm not curious about where am I in this world, right in this moment, if I don't make curiosity a living, breathing thing in my own being and in my own life, there is no way I'm going to be able to do that for you without great resentment. Okay? So that's how I think you get through it. And make no mistake about it, listeners, family, people, friends, your husbands or your wives or your children or your coworkers or somebody isn't feeling okay right now about an interaction that you've had. It could be you. But this is the basis of our human existence right now. It's the bane of it. There probably are people out there in your lives. I know there are in mine. Jonah, I'm going to offer that to you as well. There probably are people who you guys are missing each other, and especially husbands and wives, who you can rest assured that you've said something to your wife or you've said something to your husband that has left them feeling something. And if it's not happening now, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So how do we do that? We stay curious about ourselves and we stay open. And this is what I believe. And there's a table that we get to put stuff on.
A metaphorical table.
A metaphorical table that we get to put stuff on. And I get to let you be wrong or right or somewhere in the middle and love you anyways. And I get to let me be right or wrong or somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
And love me anyways. And it's not always that way. Sometimes there is a one-sided story. Sometimes there's two sides to the story. But people love that saying, there are two sides to every story. I don't believe that all the time.
Yeah, and I think, it involves lowering your defenses. The other thing, being willing to lower your defenses is very important. There was a quote, I can't remember who it was from, but when I was a kid, I heard the first act of war is defense. If someone attacks, that's an assault, that's an attack, and it becomes a war when the person defends and responds.
Defense is the first act of war.
And in interpersonal relations, if someone makes an attack on you in terms of conversationally or emotionally or whatever it is, you have the opportunity to turn it into a war by defending, or you have the opportunity to consider why that attack happened and where it's coming from and take an alternate route.
Or go back, and if you can't do that, you go back and you have the opportunity when you have good people in your life that are committed to each other to apologize.
Yes. But in that moment, you have the opportunity to get curious and to be open and to think about why you want to defend and what is bringing up that defense. And you don't always have to defend. I know for me, I love to defend. And sometimes I have to actively stop myself from doing it and think about why I'm doing it, what's bringing it up in me. And
why do you?
It depends on the situation, many, many different reasons.
I typically defend and get defensive because I'm afraid of something.
For me, I think it's because I am afraid of not being a good person. So
yeah, I'll bet you a lot of people can identify with that.
Yeah.
Mine's always, I'm afraid I'm going to be left.
Yeah.
Kicked out of the club.
Yeah.
I think we have to be careful too, Jonah. Did I cut you off again?
No.
Because I know you're excited about the move. I know you are. But with my pathos and your logos, in my experience, this podcast, and I have no problem with it, it was a little bit more fiery than usual. Mm-hmm. And I think that's because of the stress going on in our lives right now. And I think your logos is up more than you realize maybe right now. And I know that my pathos is, I'm truly feeling out of it. Like I feel shocked. I think that just think we have to make room for each other right now through this transition and room for ourselves. That I think this is where my strong point is when it comes to, this is my strength when it comes to feelings, to keep a check on it. Because even in all the excitement and all the wonder, you might also be having other feelings. I know for me, I am definitely feeling the uprootedness. Even if we were just going down the road, I'm feeling the uprootedness of what's happening. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I'm ripping myself away from a life I've known for 35 years. Because I'm 35. Mm-hmm. So 35 plus years. I just threw in a little joke by, it was a total bomb, but I had another point, but I can't remember what it was. And I know I'm going to go to bed tonight and be like, shit.
Well, there's always next episode.
Maybe I'll remember it by then. All right.
All right.
Do you think we did it? Do you think we can complete now? I feel like we're like stopping in the middle of something. No?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
No.
All right, folks. Well, sorry to be such a today. My energy is low, and I'm shocked at the way life is steering us right now. Very good things, by the way. There's nothing bad happening, but it's pretty scary for me.
Yeah. There are days when it's definitely very scary for me too.
All right. Well,
Thanks for listening to another episode, guys.
of The Good Love with Steph,
And Jonah.
and we will see you next time.
Yep.
All right.
Like, subscribe, leave a comment if you'd like. We'd love to hear from you.
Buy my book.
Yep. Buy her book,
Stuffing
CD,
Myself Silly,
Spotify,
the
Apple
story of-
Music.
Yeah. It's all out there.
Give us a holler. We'd love to hear from you.
All right. Lots of love to everyone. Take good care of yourselves.
Until next week.
Mwah! Mwah, 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 mwah.